Shabbos. Lakpa Sherpa was born in a cave in Nepal, and she spent her childhood literally carrying her brothers on her back. She walked for hours each day to the closest school. She would drop her brothers in their classrooms, but she was turned away as girls were not educated in her community. She worked as a janitor by day with no formal education, but Lakpa had a dream to climb Nepal's famed Mount Everest, to reach new heights. And in May, this May, at the age of 48, Lakpa climbed the world's tallest mountain for her record 10th time, taking great risks, rising to great challenge, overcoming adversity and setbacks. She lifted herself to the highest of heights. She taught herself English and has gone on the speaking circuit, seeing herself as a role model for young women and girls for empowerment, showing them that they can rise to new heights just like her. Lakpa found her purpose in life. Our Torah portion, Parshat Pinchas, asks the ultimate question: what is our purpose in this world? As the commentator Svat Emet phrases it, the essence of being a human being is to arrive at a place that only ourselves can reach, and know that for this we were created. What is our ikar? What is our essence of being? Why were we created? Kol Adam yesh lo eze halam vehitnageg letaken ba'olam. Every person has some reason in this world, something that they must remedy. Only they can fix. Each one of us has an obligation to repair the world, and there is one specific act of repair that only we can do. Our Torah portion begins by recounting a violent story during the Israelites' wanderings in the wilderness. A neighboring tribe named Minyan leads the Jewish people to idol worship and immorality, and a great plague erupts throughout the Jewish camp. The Midrash says that Moses convenes a court to decide what actions to take, who to prosecute, who to punish, and all the people are simply frozen, moved to tears. While court is in session, a young priest, grandson of Aaron named Pinchas, picks up a spear and takes God's law into his own hands. Pinchas stops the uprising plague by ramming that spear through the prime instigators, killing the Jewish leader and his Midianite partner. Through violent and bloody means, Pinchas brings peace to the people of Israel, and the Torah portion gives him a reward, saying that he has Briti Shalom, a covenant of peace. Was this the act of repair for which Pinchas was meant to fulfill? How could violence be his ikar, his essence, the reason that he was put in this world? I wish we could all take a close look at the actual Torah scroll from this portion. In the Torah itself, the word shalom, in that quote-unquote reward for Pinchas, the covenant of peace, is written in a very odd manner. The Hebrew letter vav in the word shalom, peace, is written incompletely, with a separation in its middle, an open space and a break in the middle of a letter. Our tradition, though, requires that every single letter in the Torah be perfect. And even if one letter has an error, a deformity, or even a space in it, the entire Torah is ruled pasul, unable to be used, invalid and damaged, not appropriate for use. It is to be put aside to be repaired or else buried. Every Torah scroll is written with 304,804 perfectly formed letters and one imperfect letter, the one that we read today, showing us that even the Holy Torah, which is from God but written from our own hands, is ultimately incomplete. And perhaps Pinchas's violent act remains still questionable today. For centuries, the rabbis have debated the meaning of this broken vav in the Torah. Many commentaries suggest that it teaches that any peace achieved through violence is inherently flawed and broken. Other rabbis suggest that there are times when violence is necessary to achieve peace. The letter Vav is considered in Hebrew as a connecting letter, as it reaches up and down. The empty space between this broken Vav teaches that true peace requires cooperation from all sides, not hatred or attack. Pinchas felt required to act instinctively to correct a wrong and an injustice, regardless of collateral damage, guided by his own internal moral compass. But was this the purpose for which Pinchas lived? The rabbis of the Midrash and the Talmud say that Pinchas actually never died. Uncomfortable with this violent act, they say he reappears generations later as Elijah the prophet, the same person. Like Pinchas, Eliyahu HaNavi in the Bible blazed with zeal, called out injustice and all that was wrong in the world in which he lived. He was what we call a righteous hero that could be extreme and harsh at times, even to the point of violence. And yet in our tradition, we know a different Elijah. Our Elijah, Eliyahu HaNavi, which we often sing to. It's one of our favorite songs. I just had a bris Tuesday, and as the Moel was performing the circumcision, we all sang Eliyahu HaNavi. To quote the Moel, to comfort the baby at that moment. Is this the harsh Elijah that we're talking about? Well, our Elijah has softened over the years of tradition, sweetened like the Manischewitz wine we welcome him with at our Passover Seders. We have a special chair for a baby at every bris to welcome with Elijah, and every Saturday night at Havdalah we joyously sing, awaiting Elijah's arrival and the coming of the Messiah. The rabbis transform Pinchas and Eliyahu, who are one in their eyes, uncomfortable with their flaws and their violent ways, not wanting them to be solely known as harsh battlers. They're softened to be known as benevolent sages, inspiring acts of kindness. The Elijah that we believe is still living with us is a different Elijah. He's an Elijah that challenges us to care for every single person in this world. Most often in our folk stories and songs, Eliyahu appears as a beggar, knocking on doors, asking for a little help, and if we respond positively, we welcome the stranger, we feed the hungry, we clothe the naked, we heal the sick, we shelter the refugee, then we will be blessed. Elijah, who at first called out the ugliness in this world, who persecuted and attacked others, couldn't remain that way forever. He was transformed with a new purpose. The Elijah that we know and love is the one who finds every spark of holiness in this world and redeems it. This Elijah we can't wait to see. This Elijah cultivates kindness, rewards goodness, elevates acts of bravery in the face of adversity. Our Torah portion continues, and at its end, we find the story known as Benot Tzlofchad, the daughters of Tzlofchad, 5 sisters, Machla, Noah, Chogla, Milcah, and Tirzah. Together they approach Moses, Aaron the high priest, the tribal chieftains, all the elders, all the men that were the leaders, with a simple request. They ask, can we inherit the land that was due to our father? For he has died and left no sons. Why should our family name disappear? Everyone stands there in silence at this challenge. No one knows what to do. The great Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses, our teacher, is stumped. So what does Moses do? Moses asks God, who quickly and directly responds with these words. Yes, the daughters of Tzlofchad are right. They speak properly. With that statement, biblical law is written, and women can inherit property. This moment in our Torah portion serves both as a model and inspiration for many. These sisters have great courage, as they are not afraid to stand up and raise their voice for a cause which they believe is just and right. So whether it's Pinchas, whether it's Eliyahu HaNavi, Elijah the prophet, whether it's Laka Sherpa, whether it's the daughters of Tzlofchad, all found their ikar, their essence, their purpose. They helped improve a piece of this world that only they could repair when they stood up to challenge, when they righted the wrong, when they elevated to new heights, when they raised their voice to champion the cause of morality and equality to better our world, when they cultivated kindness, when they sought out goodness. May we all find our own ikar, our own essence, that which only we can repair in this world. And if we do that, then our world will be worthy to welcome Eliyahu Hanavi, Elijah the prophet, and our world will be truly better. Shabbat Shalom.